Hi, welcome along to AFTV. We are here for the Starting 11 show. A very, very interesting Starting 11 show today because it's Arsenal versus Liverpool. We know there's been a lot of injuries to Arsenal players. Could some of them be back? And if not, what is the team going to be? What is the formation going to be to face probably our hardest test so far this season? Joining me, I've got Lee Judges in the building and also Julian. And I'm telling you guys, it's quite exciting to see what the starting 11 is going to be in this game.
Yeah, without doubt. I think it's one to look forward to. Sometimes it's a bit, you know exactly what the team's going to be, maybe one change. But today I think it's interesting who plays left back, who's the centre back partnership, what's the midfield, because, you know, last few games I've got a little feeling that Wanyeri might start today. So, you know, it's exciting. It's exciting.
It is. And of course, the reason why, you know, we're all sort of waiting, you know, not really knowing what the team could be is like, you know, obviously the suspension to Saliba, who picked up that red card last week, he's out. There's doubts over Saka, who's missed the last game. There's doubts over Timber, if he'll come back. Calafiori's out. So there's a lot of holes in that team. Who's going to play where? I mean, what are you thinking at the moment, Julian?
Yeah, well, at least with Saliba and probably Calafiori, you've got some definites. And the thing that makes me nervous is when you have, as you said, you have doubts. Now, Arteta's come out at the beginning of the week and actually admitted basically that he lies about the team news because he said it's in Arsenal's interests to keep the team news as secret as possible. Now,
that's not saying he's lying, is it?
Well, he has lied. And he's basically buying.
No, hold on. You made a big statement there. That's not saying.
Well, he has lied.
He likes to keep it under wraps.
He's lied in the past about players being really close, and then we don't see them for months. So that's obviously a lie.
He did say that about Odegaard. Odegaard was.
Yeah, he was touch and go. Yeah,
you can have a setback.
No, he didn't have a setback. He lied.
I'm just saying.
But he's justified his lies by being in the interests of the team. Now, everyone's getting excited, including myself, that Timber and Saka have been seen at the team hotel. However, if you look back to the Man City game last season, Jesus was seen at the hotel and he didn't play. So he could be doing a double bluff here. But I want to be thinking positive. I want to think they're both playing. And
if they don't?
Then I'm going to be more nervous.
And who if them two are not available, who would you know what? First of all, if them two are available, right? Well, actually, forget about Saka because we know where he played. But if say I'm specifically looking at the back now, we know no Saliba, no Calafiori, right? So if Timber's available, what's your back four?
Okay, Timber at left back, Ben White at right back, Gabriel, and next to him would be the big question. Kivior, although I'm not averse to bringing Rice back into that position because I'm not convinced about Kivior. So it'd be one of those two. And if I was pushed, I'd probably say Rice because of the cover.
So what would be
because
your
the cover that we'd have in midfield, I would have Partey, Marino, and I like the idea of Nwaneri playing, but I'd probably go with the experience of Trossard.
Okay, right. Your back four is same question. If Timber's fit.
If Timber's fit, I'll go Ben White at right back, Timber and Gabriel at central defence, and Zinchenko at left back.
Okay.
I think at the end of the day, don't be changing too many positions around at the back. Like, you know, go like for like if we can. And listen,
Timber's not fit.
If Timber's not fit, we have a problem. I think I'm going to say it. If Timber's not fit, Declan Rice at central defence for me, and the midfield that Julian said.
We've still a left back of
Zinchenko. Listen,
Zinchenko against Salah.
Oh, yeah, listen. At the end of the day, Salah's always taken on. Well, in some part of a game, don't matter who he's taking on, whether he's taking on Calafiori or Timber today, he will beat him on some occasions. That's because you know why? He's a good player. So at the end of it, you got hope that other people around it can defend well as well. Like that.
He beat him on nearly every occasion. That was the problem.
No, he didn't.
No,
he
Robbie,
didn't. That is incorrect.
Thank you. That's a lie.
That is a lie.
It's a lie.
No, it's not a lie. I said it nearly every occasion. I didn't say he didn't beat him on every occasion.
Every occasion you just said there.
No, he beat him on nearly every
changing
occasion.
tactics.
No, I didn't. I said he beat him on nearly every occasion, and that's facts.
On most occasions, he didn't get beaten, but what's highlighted is when, and this is what happens when you watch games, if you're only watching one part of it, you'll watch the part where they score. And where they scored was he was beaten, and that gets exaggerated.
What's your back for then? With Timber first and then with that.
Well, with Timber, it's I don't know where to put Timber. That's the thing. I'm worried about those wide positions, because if it's Salah against Zinchenko, if it's Salah against Lewis Skelly, I'm a bit worried. I mean, Salah's the best around, wide player, tricky, quick. So I think I'll put Timber at the left back. Even though he can play as a centre back, he's good in that position as well. Probably bring in Kivior, Gabriel, Ben White, and then Timber at the back. And like you said, if he's not fit, then we've got a very big problem.
No one sort of said Lewis Skelly at the moment, have they? Like, no one going to back our youngsters?
No, listen, but
it's not the ideal. Preston.
It's not the ideal situation to bring in. I mean, that's a big ask, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think he's ready.
Yeah,
I think he's ready.
Is he more ready than Kivior? I would say probably yes, from what I've seen recently.
I don't think Kivior's been that bad. He made that one bad pass.
No, I'm not saying he has been bad, but what I've seen of Lewis Skelly, I've been impressed about. But it's too small a sample to make that decision.
Yeah,
but then Arteta's seen him in training far more than we've seen him on the pitch. But the other thing I do agree with Robbie about is the threats from Liverpool. It's not.
See Saka there coming through, and Timber both coming into the tunnel there on the TV. So it looks like they are both fit.
No, it doesn't. That just means they're walking down the tunnel.
Well, they're in the squad.
No,
they're in the match. That's the match day squad.
Just because you've got earpods in, you haven't with the match day squad. He's got earpods in. Doesn't mean he's in the squad.
That's the match day squad. They're coming down the tunnel.
Anyone can walk through the tunnel.
Julian,
it doesn't
they're
mean
walking down. It's the match day squad.
When I see them on the team sheet, then it's the match day squad. At the moment, they're just walking through the tunnel. I'm not saying they're not playing, but if he's
that's going to play, right? The team, so the squad that's going to play,
as in the subs,
will come down to get off the coach and come down.
It looks like Partey's going to be right back. That's the rumours.
Yeah, and so it's what you're saying. If they walk down the tunnel, that means they're definitely playing in
the
squad. That means they're definitely named. Okay, if that's what that means, to me, it means they're walking through the tunnel.
Why wouldn't you think that they're in the matchday squad then?
I'm not saying I wouldn't think that.
Do you think like Arteta's just walking down the tunnel? He's not manager.
No, but I'm judging it on what Arteta's said this week and what Arteta's done in the past. Is right up to the last minute, you keep that squad as secret as possible.
You probably keep your starting 11 quiet.
If that's the team there,
that's the match day squad, Julian. We didn't see Calafiori walk down there, did we?
Has it been?
We didn't see Tomiyasu walking through there.
No, just ignore him at times.
Is that I can't read that?
That's not a confirmed team. That's a rumoured team.
Okay, so it's rumoured.
9 times out of 10, that's what it.
That's a rumoured team.
I'm not happy with that.
Let me give people what that rumoured team is. It's Raya in goal. Thomas Partey at right back, Ben White and Gabriel as the two centre backs, and Timber coming in at left back. A midfield of Rice, Marino and Trossard, and Saka, Martinelli and Kai Havertz up front. If that is the team, which is not been confirmed, we'll know the team in about We know the team in about 5 minutes, 6 minutes time. But if that is the team, what are you not happy about?
I'm not happy with. You know what I'm not happy with. You know what I'm not happy with.
Partey right back. And who would he be up against on the left side of?
Well, he's up against Luis Diaz.
Luis Diaz,
Gakpo, or players like this that are lightning quick.
I just think we miss him in midfield. I think it's a complete. Listen, for me, if that's the team, I'm going to back it and everything like that. But I'm going to go and buy a scarf. and put it over my head.
Over your eyes.
Over your eyes.
Yeah, because I'm going to be nervous every time.
I'm with Lee, man. I don't like Partey at right back. You know, what I mean, he's not quick enough, and you're coming up against, if it's Luis Diaz, he's lightning. You know, he's lightning. Quick Cole Palmer just scored there.
That's better goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I don't rate that.
No, I don't rate Pope.
Nick Pope. I don't rate him. You're supposed to save that. It's right in your near post, isn't it? But so Chelsea winning that game 2-1, by the way. But yeah, that team, I don't like Partey at right back.
No.
And like you said, Lee's right. He's been brilliant playing in midfield for us in recent games. So I'm hoping that's not the team. I will be happy that Timber's playing. But then the right hand side's a problem. Yeah. That right defensively, because you know you can put passes and stuff like that. Defensively.
Yeah, but we're also everyone seems to be fixated on our defence. That Liverpool are this unbelievable attacking team. Now they have been up till this season.
Shocking goalkeeping, by the way. Look at this. I mean, come on,
that was
Nick
poor.
Pope, man. Awful goalkeeping.
Get your pink kit off, put in a green kit, and do the decent thing. That is poor.
So just bringing it back away from Nick Pope's poor goalkeeping, if you look at Liverpool up to this season, attacking wise, that's always what you looked at them for. They're an unbelievably attacking team. Now, since Slot's come back in, since Slot's now the manager, they're playing a slightly different way. Now, defensively, they're amazing. They've only let in 3 goals, but they've actually scored less goals than Tottenham. So attacking wise, they're
a great
counter-attacking team. They're very counter-attacking today.
They're very good.
Their strength is their attack as well,
but their main strength is in defence.
Attack. They've got Luis Diaz, one of the most informed players in the league at the moment, and Salah, also one of the most informed players. Okay,
but Spurs are a better attacking team than Liverpool. They've scored more goals.
Cody Gakpo. They've got
all these players, but Spurs have scored more goals.
Yeah, so what?
Well, that's quite an important thing.
They're top of the league, Julian.
They are top of the league, and they're the best team in the league. But attacking wise, they're not the best attacking team in the league. Otherwise, they'd have scored the most goals.
Doesn't mean it's not a good attack, does it?
No, I'm not saying they're not
maybe
good.
Statistic, you know what I mean? I know you're trying to put stats on it, but right now, which attack would you say is better? What attack would you rather have? Liverpool's attack or Spurs' attack?
Well, if I'm looking at how many goals Spurs have scored, I'd rather have Spurs' attack because they've scored more goals.
You'd rather have, right? So someone comes to you and says, for this season, what we're going to do now, we're going to give you Spurs' attack for the rest of the season.
No, I wouldn't want any players from Spurs in any of my teams. So I would absolutely have Liverpool's attack. But what I'm saying is that Liverpool's strength is not necessarily the way they attack. It's as a team, and they're better now. I mean, his record since he came in is unbelievable.
Defence is great, but attack is still great as well.
It is great because they have won.
They play a different way now. They're attacking. They play a counter-attack. When you've got counter-attacking players of what they've got, they leave them up, and at the end of the day, they expose people bombing on. That's what they do. They exploit the space. And Thomas Partey, 1-on-1 with Diaz, is he's
going to get exposed.
Yeah,
he'd be exposed by a lot of wingers.
Of course he will. I think any wingers. He was exposed.
He's getting exposed the other night.
The other night against Shakhtar.
He's playing brilliantly when he was in midfield. Now we know if that is the team, and we'll find out very soon. But now we know why he did then shift him maybe to that position in the second half.
Listen, I'm not going to go against Mikel. He knows better than most, but
he's tried him out a lot of times in that position, hasn't he?
But he seems to be happy with him.
Maybe one time it'll work.
Maybe it's today.
Maybe it's today. I'll tell you what though, if you keep I don't know, if you're in the lottery and you keep betting on 3, one time it will come up.
I am worried about their attack against if Partey.
Even a broken clock's right twice.
Yeah.
That's twice a day.
If that's the team,
twice a week.
If that's
twice a day. Okay.
I mean, if that's the team, I mean, at least Partey. Who do you think is better? Partey, because it's kind of like
I think Raya's better.
You either
right back, I'll be honest. I play Raya.
Partey at right back, or you're considering then going.
He's faster.
Listen, if that's the team, you could actually still play Rice at centre half. If that is a team, you don't know.
Yeah. We'll find out very soon.
No one knows how they're going to line. You could put that team out, and it's only no one knows what it's going to be the lineup, do they?
Yeah. Abdullah says, is that really the lineup? With a super chat, he says, are we short of the formation?
No.
Rice could still be a centre back and White a right back. Do they release the actual formation? That isn't the actual team,
It's
Abdullah.
rumours.
Yeah.
That's rumours.
And they don't release the formation because you don't know till they start
Exactly.
playing.
So, like, at the end of the
That's
day,
a
they
very
could-
good point.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. He's not going to give them the formation as well, is he? No, this is how we're going to play.
So he could actually say that that's the team, and it could be that Rice goes into centre half and White's still at right back. No one knows. So I'm not going to lose faith in it because
I think
You said you were going to watch the game with a scarf around your eyes.
I'm not.
It's pretty much losing
Are
faith.
you going to be happy when they're all running at Thomas Partey? I think he's been. Can I say this now? I think he's been our best midfield player this season.
Yeah, he has.
Consistently.
Yeah.
I agree.
So why would you take him out? That's my argument. I can understand it if he's a fantastic right back and whatever, but
He's a fantastic central midfielder. He's not a very good right back.
I'm not as far as I know. Yeah, exactly. I think
But
he's a dodgy
Mikel obviously
right back.
thinks different.
Okay, well, we're going to find out very soon if he will be playing at right back. Of course, there are going to have to be adjustments made. Henry, with a super chat, he says Skelly should go at left back and Timber right back if fit. Right, that's been confirmed. So it's just been confirmed that is the team that is going to play Liverpool today. Raya in goal, Partey, White, Gabriel and Timber. Timber is fit and makes the lineup. Trossard, Rice and Mikel Merino and Saka, who's also fit, Kai Havertz and Gabriel Martinelli. That is the starting 11.
It's not the starting formation for
to
definite.
play against... And if those are all the players in there, I would have thought that is going to be their formation. That will be the formation. And by the way, they do give the formation to the TV companies. So,
Do they?
yeah, they do. They give the formation to the TV
That's very
companies.
kind of
So I do feel...
Why would they do that? To give the opposition some sort of heads up?
because the TV companies, when you're watching a game in it, they put the formation at the start of the game. So they do give the TV companies a formation once they've decided on what the starting 11 is going to be.
Can we have the substitutes up?
Yeah.
Right, let me see if I can get the subs. They are, but your reaction to that, I'd love to get. But the substitutes, where have we got?
Listen, I think if we're all like got to be happy that Saka and Timber are in the side.
Let's look at the positives.
Substitutes.
So I'm going to look at the positives.
Yeah, substitutes: Neto, Nichols, Kivior, Zinchenko, Lewis Skelly, Jorginho, Wanyeri, Sterling, and Jesus.
It's a good bench.
So those are the substitutes. But yep, that is the team. Sky also saying the same team as well. Bukayo Saka is fit to play the game. That's the team.
Yay! Let's all be happy.
Listen, it could be worse. It could be
Yeah, it could
worse.
have been a lot
It could have
worse.
been
It
like
could be a
Timber
lot
out.
worse.
and-
It could be, you know
With
what I
the
mean?
players of-
We could have Partey playing the left back. You know what I mean? Like,
Or he could be in goal. But this is the frustrating
Take
thing
the
is,
positives,
yeah, the positives are the players are available that we hope to be available. The negatives is if that's the formation, which take your word for it that they give out the formations, then we're not happy with that because of Partey being exposed at right back and being taken out of the midfield.
I think there's a choice here, right? It's either Partey at right back or Kivior at left back, right? That's what it kind of boils
No, he
down
could have had
to. And I
Rice
think
at centre half.
I said during the week, I really don't think he'd go for that.
I know you want to. I get that. Because I've had people go, "Oh, why you want to take Rice out of there? Why you want to play him at centre half?
Because he's played there before,
right?" So I go, well, "So why is that not all right? But it's all right to do it with Thomas Partey."
And it's more out of position because you're putting him on the side of the pitch rather than back and centre.
I guess because Partey's played there a few times before.
But he's played there badly.
But we've not seen Rice play in that position
We've
for
seen him
Arsenal,
play for
have we?
West Ham.
You know,
He's played there for West Ham. He's played a little bit for Arsenal there as well.
Quite a long
played there one game
time.
for
Quite a
Arsenal.
long
He did.
time ago. He dropped back in there for Arsenal.
He dropped back in there.
But then do you then lose what he brings in midfield?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
also
that's what I'm
the
saying.
midfield battle's important as well. Let me give you the
And
Liverpool.
also, can I be really bold and say this? I'm not 100% sure on Marino yet. If I'll be honest, he's done nothing to say, "Oh, yeah, he's in the team as well."
He hasn't done anything too
excited.
bad.
I'm not saying I'm not having a go at him. I'm just saying he hasn't done
been
anything where I
steady.
can go, right,
Yeah.
that's all right. Marino's coming in.
He hasn't lit it up
and
yet. I mean, he's only had a couple
and
of
it ain't
games.
going to, but Partey is a big loss for me in midfield.
Yeah. The Liverpool team, by the way, Kelleher in goal. Of course, there's no Alisson. Van Dijk, Konate, Diaz, Nunes, Darwin Nunes, that is, McAllister, Salah, Jones, Robertson, Gravenberch, and Alexander-Arnold. That's their starting lineup.
So that's their players are out. The Jota is out.
Jota,
Chiesa.
Jota and Alisson.
And Chiesa hasn't really played.
Chiesa's been out for
and also Bradley Connor. Connor Bradley.
He's injured, isn't he?
Yeah, that's why they're out.
But,
but
those are
really been starting,
none of those players that are out are starters. So,
well, I think Jota is, and Becker definitely was.
No,
Alisson's a starter.
Not Becker.
You're right.
His name's Alisson.
His name's Becker. His name's Becker.
Alisson,
Everyone else gets called by their second name. It's Becker.
Well, he does call himself. He seems to dislike the name. He calls himself Alisson, right? Because he's the one who chooses what name goes on the back of his shirt.
Yeah,
and he doesn't
anything
like the name
but Becker. He said apparently.
It's funny. I had a girlfriend at university called Alison.
Really? Yeah. Alison Becker?
Yeah, what could have been.
Could have been. Well,
her loss, obviously.
What do you think of their team? That's basically the same team that played against Chelsea last week, isn't it?
Yeah, strong defence.
Well, Jota started, didn't he? We've got a couple
got a rib injury.
Came on, same team really, more or less. I mean, so no real changes for Liverpool. I think that was kind of expected. Curtis Jones, who scored, played really well last week. It's not a surprise that he's not playing as well. He starts as well. Abdullah says, why disrupt that Saka-White flank? Hope Rice is centre-back. Yeah. Well, I think the reason being is that we know Ben White can play as a centre-back. Ben White, was a centre-back. We bought him as a centre-back. So, and the right-sided centre-back, and he can play.
He's played right-back for the last few seasons.
He can play that position.
He's been one of our best players.
He has.
So you're actually disrupting two positions there.
Yeah, but there's a reason why we're disrupting it, because there's no one else. There's no Saliba, right? And I'm in agreement with Mikel on putting Timber on that left-hand side, right? Because the threats
I'm in agreement with that.
Wide are so dangerous that I think you need somebody who's going to be combative and somebody who's quick and good at tackling and because that's Mo Salah. I don't think you can, I don't think this is the game when you have a Zinchenko out there. I don't think this is a game when you go with a Lewis Skelly there. I think you've got to be solid in them wide areas, because that is, Mo Salah, one of the best in the world. So, and then that's what I'm saying. Then it boils down to a choice, I feel, between Kivior on the left coming in, and if you're going to put Timber in, or maybe even switch him on the right, or Partey. And he's gone with Partey just probably because he's tried him there in quite a few times. Never successfully, as Lee says. I can't remember him being great in that position, can you?
No. Not once.
Never.
But that's what he's gone with.
He doesn't always get it right.
Listen,
hopefully it's today.
Big game today for me. Trossard's got to perform.
Yeah, it's a massive game.
He let us down last week at Bournemouth with the bad back pass.
He did the same thing on Tuesday, didn't he?
Yeah, and he didn't have a great game on Tuesday. Big time player, needs to have a big time performance.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think
and I think he will.
He has been poor, but he does. He's kind of that player, isn't it? He'll have a couple of bad games and then come roaring back and stepping up. I think Martinelli as well. He always does well against Liverpool. I'm glad to see that he's starting. Remember, he was sort of overcoming an injury as well. He only played part of the game last week. I think it's great that he's starting, and he always has something to say against Liverpool. Yeah. And again, we were talking about our flanks. That's where I think Arsenal can get at Liverpool possibly as well, because we know Trent will get forward a lot,
and he starts to
can
invert
we get
as
him
well.
Behind?
He inverts, and if you look at Martinelli's record against Liverpool, I think he's had more goal contributions against Liverpool than any other team. He scored 5 goals and got 2 assists.
That's good.
And he's hitting form as well.
Listen, if he does come inside, that hopefully Martinelli isn't told to follow him in there and just say, look, stick out wide. We've got enough in midfield to cope with that, and then he can expose that flank.
It's really interesting to see how both teams are going to play. Mikel Arteta said we're going to come out flying.
And I like that.
Do you think we'll come out flying?
No.
Because we've been...
Be cautious.
You think we'll be cautious?
Yeah. We haven't come out flying all season at home games. I think what we'll do is try and control the game. with our passing, getting the ball and getting possession.
But that's what Liverpool try and do as well.
Yeah, of course they will. Yeah, that's
so it'll be a bit of a stalemate, you think?
It could be.
I kind of think we are going to come out flying a bit. I do think we're going to come out flying a bit.
He has whipped us up by saying that.
I feel like this is a different game to some of those other home games. You know what I mean? Because the other home games really, we've not played like a sort of Liverpool in any of these. So I think we might come out. I'm not saying gun ho, but I think we could come out flying. It's going to be really interesting to see how Liverpool play because, like you said, they're not the Klopp Liverpool that always comes out flying, are they?
He's changed his formation to a little bit more defensive. He's now gone 4-2-3-1, and he's building it. He's still pressing, but they're not pressing the same way. He's using Szoboszlai as the main presser against the two centre halves, but he's not really committing too many players forward. The other thing they're doing is a more possession-based play, in as much as they're more controlled, and they're looking at sort of a slower build-up. They're happier to kind of do the sort of death by 1,000 passes, just keeping control of the game.
Yeah. Just going through some of the comments. Afsar says Arteta is the new Tinker Man. Well, listen, I think we have to.
He's had to.
Come on,
this is where it's very, very important. Now, where the fans in today's game, we're under it a little bit. That the fans have got to be right up for it today, given a lot of backing and all that. And I'm not going to say it now. No excuses. That's the team. Let's back it and let's see them.
And it's good enough to win the game.
It's good enough to win a game of football. That is good enough to win a game of football.
So we got 2/3 players out that would start, which is Calafiore, which if Timber's there, you could argue that he might have gone. Obviously, Odegaard would have been in the team, and Saliba. So you're not decimated. You're under strength. But then, Liverpool, Jota always seems to score against us. The fact that he's
doesn't
not
normally
around,
start though, Jota. He
does always nick a goal.
I'm
going to still wait and see on this formation. Yeah. I'm not saying that's set in stone.
No.
Owen says, Robbie, you better hope that Arteta doesn't overthink things like usual. That formation versus Bournemouth had about as much creativity as a vanilla ice cream. Trossard is
quite creative. Yeah, it was nice.
Trossard is back in that midfield, so he weren't in that midfield in that game. Remember, he'd just gone for Partey, Marino, and Rice.
Yeah.
So Trossard's back in the midfield, so maybe that will help with the
let's see. He was back in midfield in the game on Tuesday night in that position, and I thought he was awful. Yeah. He's got to play. Listen, I think it's time now. You know what I mean? I don't think you're going to get a fantastic game today from Saka, if I'll be honest, because he hasn't quite played enough. But
he might have had a nice rest and could work the other way.
What I say with Saka, I think he's out there for moments today. That's what he's there for. It could be a corner, free kick, or just one passage play. I don't think you're going to be where he's going to be like he is. So you've got to have people around him stepping up. Trossard, you need to step up. Marino needs to have the best game that I've seen him play. He's got to go up levels. Havertz, last couple of games not been good enough. Levels. Yeah. Martinelli, this is, I think Martinelli's the one today. I think he's got to be right at it.
Yeah, but I think also Havertz needs to have a good game, and he also needs to put pressure on that Gravenberch, is it? Gravenberch?
Yeah, plays in there.
Yeah, because he seems to make him tick back there, and if you can put him under pressure and take him out of his stride, I think that messes up the whole of Liverpool's game because of the fact they're basing it on a defensive unit.
Yeah. Predictions, Lee. We got the team now.
I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be pretty today. I think it's going to be a tough game. I'm going to say we're going to nick it 2-1, but I don't think it's good. I don't think it's going to be an enjoyable watch. I don't think I'll be sitting there with my pipe and slippers on.
You're still going to have your scarf over your eyes.
I could well do. Put me out over my head. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a lot of tension in it. They're going to have chances and they're going to cause problems because of the formation, and because of the defence. But listen, we have to find a way of getting over the line today. Have to.
Julian?
Well, before I saw the players back, I was thinking that not the best that we could hope for, but I was predicting a draw. But now I'm really sort of pushing myself to be positive. I think Arsenal are going to nick it by 1 goal, and it'll be their 2000th victory in top flight football, which would be quite historic. Any ideas who Arsenal's first top flight victory was against?
No, I'm sure you're going to tell us.
Let me have a guess.
Have a guess.
Aston Villa.
Incorrect. It was against Wolves. It was 2-0. It was September 1904, and it was at the Manor Ground. Wasn't even at Highbury. History is really important. It would be historic.
We're still here?
1904, yeah?
September 1904, Wolves 2-0 at the Manor Ground.
Write that down, people.
Which is in Plumstead. And we were actually called Woolwich Arsenal at the time.
Yeah. So it wasn't called Arsenal at the time?
No, it was called Woolwich Arsenal.
Well, it's not Arsenal then, is it?
It is Arsenal.
It's not Arsenal, no, if you want to have a technicality.
Our first name was Dial Square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how I'll tell you what, Julian is the best person, right, on quizzes when he knows the answers. I tell you, he's unreal.
So I should be a quiz master
like
then.
a superstar.
What happened to that quiz you lot done the other day?
Well, they didn't ask anything about Arsenal. It come 16 out of 16, wasn't it?
15 out of 15.
15 out of 15, yeah.
Perth Luxury says, in Arsenal cinemas soon, Mikel Arteta in Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy. Laugh out loud. He said, could be worse, guys. Could be watching your team struggle against West Ham. He's a United fan. Listen, I'm also going to go for Arsenal to nick it by 2-1. I feel that, I'm happy that, Saka and Timber are playing, because my real fear waking up this morning was like, if those two are out, we're going to be really thin.
Can I ask a question?
I'm so happy that them two are playing.
Can I ask a question? Do you think by him being a little bit secretive and what he's done and all that, it's put a little bit more pressure on us to win today?
No.
Not really. In what way?
Well, like by saying, they're not going to be available. Now they are.
He never said that. He never said that.
He didn't say they wouldn't be available.
Well,
he said it was push and go.
He even said on Friday that they're going to have
all
another
the
training session
stuff and all that. I just think maybe
you said you like that.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, but because of that now, that they're all out now, it puts a little bit more pressure on us to win the game.
No,
not really. Not for me. For me, the pressure's on anyway. The pressure's on whether he's like, even if those players were still out, the pressure's on. Because if we lose the game today, we go seven points behind them. You've heard people like Paul Merson saying that, listen, basically your title race is over, which I don't believe. I said it the other day.
I do.
If we win the game, it doesn't mean we're winning the title, but it's a significant win. It's something that gets us back on track.
I think if we lose
because we face some tough games.
I think if we lose that,
in October.
Yep. Been over for us in October many years before, like on many occasions.
Yeah, but we've not been this close.
I think,
and had this sort of
not for me, but that's your opinion.
Yeah, but I think it'd be hard to.
It'd be hard, but there's a difference between being hard and being over.
Well, you've
I think it'd be more. Obviously, it'd be more difficult. But it's not going to be over.
I think
you said it's going to be over.
I don't think we'll win the league.
No, you said it's over.
Well, that's the same thing. I said, like, listen, you're the trappy one at Fulham last year, like when I was saying it, giving it last, chirping away, saying about it, and I said that would cost us, and it did. It did cost us.
It wasn't over, was it?
Cost us.
It wasn't over.
It cost us.
I think the thing is, listen, let's be positive and let's hope that we win.
Win the game. I'll tell you what, I don't think Arsenal will lose today.
So far, we've only lost one game.
I'm very positive.
I was doing something with a Liverpool fan yesterday, and I had to remind him that they'd lost one game as well at home. So it's and now all of a sudden people are talking they can win the league.
I'm very annoyed, a little bit like there's a lot of people who've been disrespecting Arsenal this week. They ain't this and they're not that. You know what I mean? You're going to lose and everything like that. Let me tell you this now, right? We had a poor result against Bournemouth, but we're still a bloody good footballing team.
Yeah, we had a poor result.
We're still a good team, and I hope today that we go out, despite all the injuries and the lack of fitness and all that, and prove it today that we are. And I believe that we are. I believe in this team. I believe in the manager. I believe in the team.
And do you believe in them enough to watch it without the scarf around your eyes?
I will do every time, not until when Partey gets the ball. When Al Diaz is running, I'm like, you puff your chest out and say, go on, Thomas, I see you. Oh, no.
Thomas Partey needs a big game today, and he needs help as well.
He needs help.
Saka's going to have to help him out. Everybody's going to have to help him out.
Which he does do, by the way. He's very good at doing that.
And I think that's why Declan Rice is in that midfield as well. He's going to have to help out everybody. Despite what Julian's saying, they are very strong in attack.
I never said they weren't strong. I just said they were stronger in defence, which is proved by the statistics.
Yeah, but they're very, very strong in attack.
Yeah, all right, then they're very, very, very strong in defence.
Listen, they're a good team.
Yeah.
I think
they're a good team. They're top of the league.
All round good side. The best side in the league at the moment. Can Arsenal turn them over today? Guys, don't forget to check out the watch along that is coming up. We've got Charlene's in the building, right? Be up to Charlene. Good to see you back.
Back from Jamaica.
Right. Yeah, back from Jamaica. It was a white rum and all them thing, though, right? Yeah. Will you bring back?
Yeah, look.
Too long hand.
No gifts from Jamaica. You know what I mean? Like Germany.
Gifts from Germany.
Gifts from Germany.
Yeah. Our friend here came from Germany, bought us beers and that. You've come all the way from Jamaica with nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I'll bring some rum cream next time.
What's rum cream?
Huh?
Popular drink in Jamaica.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's rum. It's like
Baileys.
Rum
Bailey.
with
Bailey. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like
Like
Baileys.
Baileys.
Yeah.
However, mind you, what did you bring back? What will you ever bring back when you've come
You
back?
ain't been
from there?
away.
Yeah, I haven't been away. I'll come away.
I'll have a go.
Yeah.
Why?
No,
What
he's
did you
been
bring
away.
back from Dubai?
What did you eat
Yeah.
in Thailand? What did you bring back?
Himself. What did you bring back from Dubai?
Yeah.
Nothing come back from
No, I bought stuff back, but you lot weren't here. You weren't here when I bought it back. Right? Anyway, right. Don't forget the watch along coming up. It's going to be brilliant, right? So make sure you check it out. Hopefully, we'll be cheering on a massive win. And of course, we'll be speaking to fans after the game and getting their opinions on how it went. It's a massive game today. Arsenal versus Liverpool. Come on, you Gunners, man. Let's get this one done, man. Let's get everything back on track because with some hard games after this, we've got to go away to Newcastle, away to Chelsea. So we really do need to get back on track. See you soon.